Is 910 South Mountain Road, Fruit Heights City, Utah, 84037. I am Gary Anderson, acting as Mayor Pro Tem. Our Mayor, John Pullman, is excused tonight. Going into the agenda, we will have a Pledge of Allegiance by Eileen and then a prayer thought by Mark. Take it from there.
All right.
Stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee at the beginning of this City Council meeting, Father, we would ask that Thy blessings would be with us, that as we meet and discuss situations and issues in our city, that we'll be able to do it calmly and be able to make an impact and help the lives of our residents. We'd ask a special blessing to be upon our country at this time with the turmoil, that things will settle down and that we can remember the importance of living in our country. We also, at this time, as we're going through the election process in our city, we would ask a special blessing upon those that are campaigning, that they'll be able to get their message across and that us as residents will be able to come out and vote and be able to vote the way that we feel would be the best for our city and for our residents. And again, Father, we're so very grateful for all the blessings that we have, for the opportunity we live in this beautiful area. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right, moving on to item 1.3, roll call. Haley?
Councilmember Gary Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Mark Cottrell.
Here.
Councilmember Eileen Moss.
Here.
Councilmember Florence Sadler.
Here.
Councilmember Sean Stevenson.
Here.
Mayor John Pullman.
Excused.
Just for the record, Councilmember Gary Anderson is Mayor Pro Tem tonight.
All right, moving on to item 1.4, training. We have the opportunity to have a 3-minute training by a council member. Tonight is my opportunity to do some training. Tonight, I would like to talk about, I want to start my training with a question. That question is, what is a power and what is a duty? And what are the differences between them? Give you just a second to consider that. Okay. In simplistic terms, a power is something that you can do, and a duty is something that you must do. As council members, what are the powers that you have, and what are the duties that you have? It is important that we understand the lane that we should be in. It is also very important to understand the lane the mayor should be in and what lane the city manager should be in. Occasionally, people accidentally or even purposely cross over each other's lanes. When these issues arise, how do we figure out who should be in what lane? Where do we turn if the city manager thinks one thing and the mayor or council thinks something different? Where do we go for a final say? When these issues arise, the two most important places we should look are at the Utah State Code and the Fruit Heights City Ordinances. These documents have the final say. In addition, as council members, we receive a copy of the Powers and Duties Handbook. It is produced by the Utah League of Cities and Towns. This handbook is given to the mayor and council as an explanation of what their powers and duties as elected officials are, as indicated by the Utah State Code. In some cases, it also gives a historical background. If there is any differences between the handbook and the code, we will go by what the code indicates. In order to make heads or tails of the code, we need to know what form of government the city of Fruit Heights operates under. The Fruit Heights City is a 6-person council. This means the mayor is a non-voting member of the council except for in the event of a tie. This means the council is the is the legislative body of the city. In the event that our city manager is not performing their duties, it is the ultimate responsibility of the council to handle those issues, often under the advisement from the mayor and city manager, or city attorney, sorry. Additional roles on mayor, council, and city manager can be found in the Fruit Heights City Ordinances Title 2A Government section, and in the Utah State Code, Section 10-3B-301 through 303. All right, now moving on to item number 2, a declaration of conflicts of interest. Do we have any of those to declare tonight? All right, seeing or hearing none, we will move on to our public comment period. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on any issue that they want to. Please keep it to 3 minutes, around 3 minutes. If we have anybody who would like to come up, please do so now. Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item, 4.1, we have a Davis County Sheriff's Report. If you'd like to come up and do that now, it would be great.
Good evening, thank you so much for having us. My name is Elizabeth Pinto, I'm the investigative analyst.
I'm Lieutenant Josh Boucher, Patrol Division.
This evening we'll be reporting on the last quarter of Davis County involvement in the city of Fruit Heights. This report will cover from July 1st through September, approximately 15th or 16th. 15th or 12th, 16th.
Just maybe bring it closer to your mouth.
It'll pick it up now better.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you. Is there any way, perchance, to make the presentation bigger? Fantastic. Thank you so much. Over the last quarter, we have averaged approximately 11.37 hours per day. That's 7 days. So we're at about average for the last 3-year average for what we have been. And this is patrol hours only, so this is not representative of dispatch or records, analysis, detectives, victims advocates, or so forth. Now, the 3-year average is going to be in blue consistently throughout this presentation. 2024 will be in orange consistently throughout this presentation. And 2025 will be in green consistently throughout this presentation. Now, because this is up to date as of today, September's numbers do look a little bit low. That's because we're in the middle of September. So dispatch incidents have been above average for the last, comparative to the last year and the last 3-year average.
Do we know why?
That's a great question. I do not. Oh, yes, a lot of vehicle burglaries. So I'm sure
that big kind of thing that came through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So over the last month and a half, the investigations patrol has taken over 35 vehicle burglaries throughout our contract cities alone. And then we have also been, the Davis County Sheriff's Office Investigations Unit has also been working with other police departments who have also had vehicle burglaries that we expect is the same group of suspects.
Within the county, are we higher than other areas, or is basically the whole county being hit, or do you have any?
Yeah, it's all getting hit really hard. In July, we had a good, 15, and then in the last month and a half, we've had over at least 35.
You probably don't know the answer to this question, but does it appear to be like the same group of people, or is it just we got unlucky one month?
Unfortunately, it's still under investigation, so I can't say too much about that. unfortunately. Any other questions?
Are they catching the perpetrators?
For some of them we have, for some it's still under investigation. Any other questions? For field initiated incidents, we are above average for the last 3-year average and for 2024. Citations, we are above the 3-year average and about what we were for 2024. Of those for speeding, again, we are above the 3-year average and at or just slightly below what we were for 2024. Moving on, this will reflect quarterly statistics for patrol, so it'll be July 1st through, again, this is going to be September 15th. So during that period of time, patrol issued 224 citations. 6 resulted in the individual being booked. 3 resulted in a cite and release. We had no fix-it tickets, 124 moving violations, 18 non-moving violations, 73 written warnings, and 0 parking violations.
I'll ask you a question on that topic of the violations.
Yes, sir.
Are moving violations also anything that has been like these motorized vehicles and, you know, the kids on the scooters and those type of things?
Moving violations or any traffic violations,
Okay.
either vehicle has to be in motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Where would there be information on kids who, with the scooters that are, and the golf carts, what category would that be?
Could be multiple categories.
Okay.
So
can someone that is riding a, electric motorcycle at 35 miles an hour with, and it's a kid with, it's not a licensed vehicle, can they still be cited with a moving
yes.
violation?
Yep.
So that is included.
Yeah, that's not, we don't determine whether it's a moving violation. That's written into state code.
Okay. That's, I think, what we're trying to distinguish.
To add some additional information, so a non-moving violation would be if their registration is expired, or let's say that they're, they're driving without a license plate or something of that nature, where the offense is an offense whether or not the vehicle is in motion, right? If I come up to your vehicle and I see in a parking lot and I can see that the registration is expired, that would be a non-moving violation.
What about like a 10-year-old without a helmet? Do we even write that as a ticket, or is it just
So the 10-year-old wouldn't get the citation. The adult operating the motorcycle or the adult that allowed them to operate the motorcycle would get the citation.
And is that then a non-moving citation?
I don't know on that one specifically. There's so many different ones that would be, but a good place, a good resource is if you would go on to Utah courts or the uniform bail schedule for Utah. You'll get a list of all the possible violations out there, traffic violations and stuff, and it'll give you a whole bunch of information you need.
So you write it, somebody else categorizes it?
Oh, yeah. We don't have anything to do with whether it's moving, non-moving, the fines, nothing. All we do is write the code it falls under, what the violation is, and that's it.
Thank you.
It's a really good question. There's a lot of terminology out there. And then for citations, we have a total, so of the, I believe it was 224 citations that were issued, 169 of those had an offense of speeding. So for example, you'll see that we had 2 individuals that were booked as a result of citation that had speeding on there. That doesn't mean that they were booked because of speeding. It just means that speeding was one of the offenses that was listed on that citation. So we had a total of 169 citations that had an offense code of speeding. Of those, 114 were actual citations, so a moving violation, right? 2 of them were criminal arrest where the individual was booked, and then 53 were written warnings. During the last quarter, we've had 122 citations. Again, that's out of that 224. 122 of those were written on, were issued on Mountain Road, where the average speed was 40, the minimum speed was 30, and the maximum speed was 51 when the vehicle was pulled over.
Minimum speed meaning minimum cited.
Correct. Yes, sir.
51's lower than the last couple of times. It was in the
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah, that's some pretty
Make
good.
an improvement.
It's gone down, it's gone down quite a bit, we're happy to announce that, yes. So, of the criminal offenses that occurred, the vast majority of them were property crimes, like we've discussed. And then we did have a few person crimes, and I believe just 2 crimes against society. Comparative statistics for investigations, again, where blue is 3-year average, orange is 2024, and green is 2025. Some of these charts can look a little bit funky. If there's a dot there, that just means that we only had that 1 month. So for example, the orange dot over April means that in 2024, we had one person crimes that was investigated, and we just didn't have any in March or May that ended up making it to investigation. So that's all that means. I know these charts can look a little bit funky. And for 2025, so far we're doing pretty well. We didn't have anything in the last quarter for person crimes, which is fantastic. So very happy to announce that. Property crimes, as we can see, that spike is pretty high. You will notice that that number is lower than the 35 that we discussed. These are just the cases where there was actually property stolen from the vehicle. So all of those cases are still being investigated, all the same, but just for the purposes of making the inbox of the detective a little bit cleaner. That's why that number looks a little bit lower. But all of those cases are investigated. Special Victims Unit, we are below average for the 3-year average for 2024. And financial crimes, we are at average, at or below average. So we'll see that the hours, so we had 38 new cases in the last quarter, 182.5 hours worked. That number is pretty high because there's been a lot of hours worked on those vehicle burglaries that have come in. And that is investigative hours only, so I personally been working on those cases. We have, let's see, property crimes makes up the majority of the crime type that we are investigating. Second is financial crimes, and then person crimes, and then Special Victims Unit, and then general investigation. We can see the most types of offenses that are being investigated currently are vehicle burglaries, child abuse neglect reports, property crimes, and burglaries, residential burglaries. Any questions on that before we continue? And then victim services. At the Davis County Sheriff's Office, we have 2 wonderful victims advocates that we are ever so grateful for. They do a lot for our victims. We can see note the services provided down below. So they will they will assist them throughout the legal process. They will accompany them in court. They will assist in making crisis plans. And I mean, really, the list goes on. They do so much for our victims. We're so grateful for them. Our victims advocates administered 27.25 hours of victim services to a total of 22 victims over the last quarter, where 18 of those victims were new and 4 were ongoing. And we can see the majority of the types of victimizations is persons, and the other remaining types of victimizations was the victim was a victimization of Special Victims Unit crimes.
Awesome.
Awesome. Any questions?
Thank you.
I'm gonna talk for just a quick second on
Please
this,
do. Yes.
those vehicle burglaries.
Yes, please do.
So, with this being recorded and published, that's one thing that we're asking everyone to help, especially the cities and the citizens, to help pass on the word on that. A lot of these vehicle burglaries were completely preventable. A lot of them are due to these perpetrators that are just wandering neighborhoods, checking on car doors. And I would say a vast majority, if not all of them, have been that very thing. Just checking your car door, the car's unlocked, and valuables have been left in the vehicle, along with firearms. We've had several firearms that have been stolen in these incidents. We're asking people, please make that part of your nightly routine. Lock your doors in your house, your windows, your garage doors, make sure they're closed, and make sure your vehicle doors are locked. And whenever you go someplace, even when you stop out at home, take the property out of the car. Some people find it convenient to just leave their stuff in the car because they're going to jump back in the car and head home or head to work or school or something in the morning. That's what attracts them when these burglars find an area where they're kind of a honey pot from, they're going to keep coming back to it. And they've experienced that in a couple of locations. So we're asking you to lock the doors, pull all your property out, make the car look really clean so that there's nothing there, nothing appealing to them. So if by chance you accidentally leave it open, there's nothing there for them to take. And then again, firearms, we should never be leaving firearms in an unsecure vehicle.
And we should be reminding our neighbors as well when we see them.
This is a community effort. This is a big community effort, yes.
I have a question. So it's mostly things taken out of the cars, or the cars stolen. Is that still an issue?
We've had a few stolen vehicles, and that's usually because, again, a lot of cars now have the keyless starts, and people just, out of convenience, will leave their keys sitting in the car in a hidden place. It doesn't do any good hiding the key, because as long as the key's in the car can start. We have had a couple where people have gone into the house because they left the garage door open, a man door into a house, reached in, grabbed the keys, shut the door, got the car, and left. But that's been about a year since we had something like that.
We also too, a lot of people leave their vehicles unlocked and will leave their garage door openers in their vehicles. So all it takes is for them to, that kind of opportunity, right, like Mr. Boucher is saying, just opening up that vehicle and then hitting that, the garage door opener right there, and then they have immediate access in your garage. The other thing that we have been seeing, just to be careful when people with like fobs to their cars and things like that, if you leave that right next to your door, there are devices where they can go by and actually take the same transmission that's coming from that fob and just click it, and it'll open up whatever vehicle has that transmission. So make sure if you do have fobs, like vehicle fobs, to leave them, specifically if they're keyless start, to leave it away from your front door because there's a range on that.
I was really surprised that we had 5 firearms in cars. That was a little shocking. I mean, that's not too smart.
No, don't confront me either. Any more questions on that?
I don't think so. Thank you for everything you guys do for our city. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving to 4.2, the YCC report. I believe we don't have anybody here.
You don't have them here. I
Okay.
gave you a report if you'd like to.
If you'd like to, that'd be fine.
I'm happy to.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm not sure why they're not here. Sometimes it slips through the cracks. They're busy with lots of things. So our YCC is, at our last meeting, we had a couple meetings actually. We had the Fable Forest people, Rochelle Homer, who is in charge of Fable Forest, and she's heading that up again this year. It's going to be, she's added a couple stories and got a few more volunteers and a little more budget. It's going to be great.
What are
The
what are
YCC
dates
kids are
on-
helping.
What are the dates on the
The
Fable?
dates on that are the Friday and Saturday before Halloween.
Okay.
Let me pull that up. I want to say 24th and 25th of
And it's down
October.
here in the hollow.
In the hollow, the Gailey Trail.
Yeah, the trail.
Although not by the trailhead, but the entrance is the same as last year. It's by the Bowery where you have that slope down into the trail. So the trail, the pathway of it is the same as people will remember from last year. The stories are a little bit different, some the same, some added, so it's kind of fun and exciting. Several members of the YCC are volunteering to be characters in those little stories and things, and then other members of the community are as well, who also did last year, and so that's exciting. Have a cute couple, I'm trying to remember their name right now, who are building a Rapunzel Tower. So there's a Rapunzel Tower in it this year, which is great, and getting help from the city staff to have a vehicle that will help them get that down in there and into position. So a lot of people helping, including our public works staff, helping to move things in and move things out. So that's going to be exciting in October. The other for their September activity. So Ted Perry with Public Works has asked us, or this started last year, and he kind of has a 5-year plan of giving us a little section of the city to distribute flyers that are for education to residents about stormwater and storm drains, what should go in it, what should not go in it, and how that works, and just be aware and kind of try to keep them clean, that type of thing. I think that comes from the state, kind of encourages or maybe requires us to like try to do an education effort that way. So YCC is helping with that, helping the city with that, a chunk at a time for a few years. So I've got those flyers, and we'll be doing that sometime this month. And combined with that, pass out of flyers to people's doors. The kids have decided that we'll also do like a litter cleanup, which along the sound wall on both sides, kind of this section here, just tends to get, sort of collects litter and garbage and things from people's garbage cans when the wind blows, I'm sure, and things like that. So we'll be doing a little bit of litter cleanup along with the flyer pass out sometime this month. We don't have a date on it yet, but
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for your help with the YCC.
Absolutely.
Thank you for updating us. Appreciate it.
Any questions or anything else you want me to tell them?
No, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, moving on to item 5.1, upcoming franchise agreements. I think Darren, you'll take this.
So this is just on the agenda for the council. This is a discussion item that's going to start coming forward. We're in the process now of getting our franchise agreements updated with like Enbridge, Crass, and those kind of things. They're past their dates. One thing that's been talked about is adding, as you say, a franchise tax to those to help bring in revenues for Heights City. This is just the beginning of it, and we're working on one of the franchise agreements right now with Enbridge Gas. They sent us one, and there's a lot of things that we disagree with that they pay for now, but they want to pay for as far as excavation permits and stuff like that. So we're in the process of going through that whole agreement before we bring it to the city council. But I did want to just bring the possibilities of bringing franchise tax to those things. The franchise tax with one of those utilities is a usage. So the more you use, the more tax you pay on that. And the reason that's one thing that's coming up, I just want to bring it up. The state created a law this year that goes into effect in January. I want to say it's HB 48, wildfire integrate. So any house that, when they're done with their map, that falls into that, the state will charge a certain amount per square foot for house, and there's no size. As I've been researching and stuff like, doesn't matter how big the house is. If there's a house that's within that, they'll be charged so much per square foot for that house. One thing about this is that a resident cannot go back and fight it for 3 years. And then after 3 years, the fire departments or the cities will have to have an individual that can go look at all these houses and determine if there's something that they've done to mitigate the fire, something that they've done these things to lower that. So I just wanted you to make aware of that will be coming up starting in January of this year. And it's nothing that Fru Heights City has done. I will tell you, talking with the different fire chiefs and stuff like that, they have really fought back against this, not only because it becomes a cost to them for all the different things that they're going to be required to do, but once again, it's another thing that's going that individuals that live in those zones, if you remember back in the spring when we talked about this map a little bit, 95% of Davis County was in this map. Because you have the wetlands and you have the mountain, and both of those are considered areas where there can be wildfires. And so if you fall with any of those ranges, you are part of that
Who gets the money?
The state takes the money.
And what do they do with it?
So right now, they'll take that money, they'll put it in a fund, and continue to build that fund to pay for if there is a wildfire. Some of that money will be used to that. They will use it to help with mitigation in areas, or a couple of things they're doing, but it's a tough one. Hopefully, there's a couple things in there that say that cities could apply for it to help pay for the individual that's got to go look at all the different properties. But that is not there yet. And once again, that's another thing that all the fire chiefs, I would say all the fire chiefs in Davis County are fighting back against, is those things right now, that they don't agree with it for the first thing, but the cost of it is another thing. So I wanted to bring that up, that will be another thing added to our residents as a property tax. And that's something that we try to do every couple of years, is do a truth in taxation so we can keep our where we're at. But another option, once again, is looking at franchises, and we're one of the only communities, I will tell you, around here that doesn't collect one. And so just something I wanted to bring up and bring to the council to start.
Do you have any idea how much that would be, or what does it add to other cities?
It all comes down to a percentage or an amount that the city would set to bring in that amount. And that's one thing I wanted to start bringing that forward now, so it's a continued discussion until we can get some of these agreements taken care of, and see if that's a way we want to go. It may not be a way we want to go as a city, but we need to have that discussion and make individuals aware that is part of our discussion process. As we go through these agreements, we're looking at that too. So.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the action items, 6.1, approval of the city council minutes. Do we have any discussion? Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes for August 19th.
Second.
Approval by Sean and second by Mark. All right. Moving on, we gotta take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. It's unanimous. All right. Calendar items. Item 8.1, September 23rd, Planning Commission meeting. 8.2, September 25th, will be a Meet the Candidates Night at Burton Elementary, 6:30 p.m., sorry. And then our next city council meeting will be October 7th. All right, council reports. We'll start here and move across. Mark, do you have?
Yeah, I would like to just say that our Founders Day was a huge success. There were so many positive comments and fun for the entire family. Our youth did a great job of pitching in and helping with that. And I just think we need to give our staff a great big thank you for a very well job done. The theme idea was very nice. It was a nice new touch. The petting zoo was a great success because we can't get our grandkids out of it. And the mechanical bowl was a great success, both for kids, teenagers, adults, and 70-year-old, who I did not get bucked off compared to our city manager and our mayor. So I did well, except for I think the guy ran it like a 5-year-old was on there, but that was okay. I still did it. So I stayed on. So I just think we had a great event and some nice tweaks and some nice improvements over the last couple of years that I've been involved with it. Planning Commission items from last time, just so that you're aware of what they discussed, and some of these items will be coming towards us. They're looking at outdoor lighting and noise ordinance. Sports courts are becoming a big issue. Heights of fence, walls, hedges was discussed. Maximum coverage of rear yards. And some of it, like I said, they're exploring some of those options, and some of that might be coming to us. Now, this item doesn't have anything to do with city council, but as a resident. I've had the opportunity of contacting Davis County Mosquito Abatement twice in the last 6 weeks because we had them spray on our street because we had some events, and boy, those people are so good to work with and willing to provide service. And when they do come out, they spray surrounding streets. So like my street, I wanted it done, but they did everything around us, which was very nice. And I didn't know if everybody knew this, but any resident can reach out to them to request for a spray, especially if they have an event or if they feel that their yard is really bad. They told me that they've sprayed more in Fruit Heights this year already than they have the last 2 years combined. And the big issue with that is with our weather conditions. And then the guy just kept talking and talking, and I learned more about mosquitoes than I've ever wanted to know before. There's a daytime mosquito that does not carry the West Nile virus. Only the nighttime one does. And the nighttime one comes out from sunset to sunrise. The daytime ones are only on grasses and gardens and bushes. And the spray that they spray out of the truck at night does not really take care of the daytime ones. It only takes care of the nighttime ones. But I think that's a service. I mean, we pay taxes for it. And I think our residents just need to know about that and take advantage of it if they have an issue or having a big event in their yard.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Mark. So, okay. Well, I'm going next, and Mark stole some of my thunder here because I am on the board of the mosquito abatement. But it's not just Mark that would have seen the guys come around and spraying. The reason that they have sprayed more in the last 2 months than in the last 2 years is because actually we have had a reported case of West Nile virus from a resident in Fruit Heights, and they have passed away from that. They were, according to I don't know the person, according to the reports I heard, they were older and not in great health, great shape. But regardless, they had seen that need for us and immediately responded so that they could take care of that. And so as I've said before in past council meetings, they are looking to put a tax increase on us, and that will be coming forward at another council meeting. I will be having it put on the agenda. That's a requirement that we have to do. Yeah, thank you for giving even more background on that, Mark. So that's my report. Eileen?
Just want to thank our Citizen Corps Council for their Sunday night check-in. They just do it once a month now, which is a little different than we used to, and that seems to be being very, very well received by members of that, not feeling quite as much pressure. So it's working.
Awesome, thank you. Sean?
From the park section, we did the National Day of Service. We had about 165 people show up on Gailey Trail. We spread bark. We logged just under 400 hours, and I think we did 90% of the trail. So Lane and the city staff did really good at setting us up in terms of spreading it out, but a lot of people came out to support us, and not only Fruit Heights residents, but also Kaysville had a few people there. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
but it was a good opportunity, and I do have a couple wheelbarrows and shovels in my truck if anybody's missing anything. Just if you catch wind of it, let me know.
Got it, awesome, thank you. All right, staff, Darren or Haley, do you have anything that you want to
Just
report?
letting you know that we'll be starting our audit.
Okay,
Presented week, so it'll be a couple month process.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Eileen and second by Flo.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.